Hey everyone, today I want to go back and look at when LEGO Star Wars made some Old Republic sets. These sets are pretty neat and have a lot to offer, but they get forgotten about a lot. And to be fair, there weren't a lot of them, so it makes sense. To look at the complete history here though, we will have to step back to 2012 when the first Old Republic sets were released. A very important thing to note about this time is that there really wasn't much going on for Star Wars. This was the year that Disney bought the rights for Star Wars and they were trying to kind of figure out what they wanted to do. Unfortunately, the first thing they did, as we all know, was cancel the Clone Wars, a big mistake, but they wanted to start on their own terms with a clean slate. So, with that on its way out, the next movie wasn't being released until 2015, which was The Force Awakens, and LEGO had a lot of time in between to kind of have to find some new material to work with. This, in turn, led to some of the coolest sets ever produced. The Old Republic had a few famous video games and some books, but it is still surprising to see LEGO dip their hands into that pool. The first two we saw in 2012 were the Sith Fury class Infiltrator and the Republic Striker class Starfighter. A fantastic pairing to start off with. The Republic Striker has a very fun design with a very vibrant color palette, separating it from pretty much every Skywalker Saga set. This definitely works in its favor, and that same feeling can be seen in the minifigures too. They feel foreign and unique, interesting. This adds a lot to these sets. They definitely nailed the capture and the feel of the Old Republic and definitely differentiated it very much from the Skywalker Saga, which I think is a big plus. Plenty of play features are abundant here as well, mainly the moving wings, which are really fun. It doesn't sound like much, but it's a good time, trust me. That, along with all the other, normal play functions you'd expect to see on a LEGO ship, and you've got yourself a very good set. The Sith Fury class Infiltrator has similar pros to it. The ship has such a unique shape that it can feel odd but also greatly familiar. This one in particular really is a step above. There are a lot of interesting angles in this build and I love it. The back wings are tilted up, adding even more geometry to combat that circular cockpit. This ship and build are perfect. The minifigures are top notch too. Figures like Darth Malgus are the only reason you honestly need to even buy this set. He is so perfect and 10 out of 10 and matches the ship in every way. After the two great sets in 2012, LEGO decided they wanted to continue this line into 2013 with two more new sets. This time we had a bigger set with the Jedi Defender class cruiser and then a smaller battle pack to go alongside it. The cruiser had a very neat design, but a little wacky too. Definitely not as good as the predecessor's build, but still a decent successor. The minifigures kick some butt though and make up for this mediocre build. None of them are famous figures or really well known, I should say, like named, but they are interesting and very detailed. So while not a perfect set, it does a decent job. The set that released alongside this one though was the Republic Troopers versus Sith Troopers. The figs here are very fun, particularly the Republic Troopers. I love their design and I would love an army of these guys. The Sith Troopers are neat too, and the speeder build is a little bit different, which is pretty cool. I think making it a versus pack was the right call, for sure given the limited sets they gave this theme. When they were only giving it 2 sets a year, I wouldn't want both sets to be battle pack. That'd be pretty lame. Even though I love battle packs, I definitely am glad we got the Jedi Defender and then this battle pack alongside it. Out of these two, the battle pack is definitely the winner, and I wish I could go back in time and pick up a few for myself. In 2014, we kind of had a decline here. I'm not sure what exactly changed, but we didn't have any Old Republic sets this year. We did see a Darth Revan polybag for the May 4th gift with purchase, and it is considered one of the best. For good reason. The figure is amazing, and he is a very popular character, and it was a very neat treat to see him because it's not a figure many of us thought we'd ever see. However, this was the only Old Republic anything we saw this year. This was it. No sets, and I'm not too sure why. My only thought is they must have not sold well enough, or sometimes that's not even the case. Sometimes LEGO just drops a theme because they don't care to continue it. There's not really an answer here I can give you. Anyway, since this polybag, the Old Republic had been completely mute, which was very unfortunate because I thought all the sets were very well received. Sales, though, I could definitely see being lower, as if one of these was right next to an X-Wing on a shelf, which one do you think a parent would pick up for their kid? You know, an X-Wing is just way more iconic, and so someone who's not very into it or doesn't know much will probably just pick up the X-Wing every single time. Personally, I think these sets would perform much better in today's market. With how much the LEGO Star Wars community has grown and how many people buy just the sheer number of sets they buy, I don't think they'd have a problem selling these at all. Especially when sometimes it can feel a little stale in current LEGO Star Wars with all the remakes of sets we get, the constant AT-AT X-Wings, TIE Fighters, etc. Luckily, it seems LEGO might be testing the waters for some new Old Republic sets. Darth Malak was included in the R2-D2 set as an anniversary fig. So in 2024, about 14 years later, we finally see a return to some form of the Old Republic. It may just be a small anniversary figure in one set, but it is something. Speaking about the figure itself, it is top notch. It makes a set that doesn't have that much draw very tempting. I love the inclusion here, and while we probably shouldn't read too much into it, the odds are definitely increased for some new Old Republic sets. Another factor we must consider when talking about the future of the Old Republic sets is the new show, The Acolyte. While it's not set in the exact same time period, it's similar enough we can look at it as a guide to compare to. There appear to be no new sets for this show coming this year, so that's kind of good and bad news. Bad because they aren't willing to step outside the Skywalker saga, but good because I couldn't imagine they'd want to make sets for this show and the Old Republic at the same time. Truthfully, we have no information to really speculate about. LEGO has never been one to give a pattern. They're very all over the place. They kind of just do what they want to do. So it's very hard to get a read on anything they're doing, or try and look at any sort of pattern. We have basically no information to really speculate about besides the Darth Malak figure. I think he is a very promising sign of them showing us the possibility that is there, and they're thinking about it. Both LEGO, nothing is given. With the new macro binoculars, for example, everyone thought, including myself, that we would see some new 327th troops, and we still haven't. This is just a prime example of LEGO. You can never trust them. The macro binoculars are very much thought of with the 327th and Commander Bly, and yet, I think it's almost 2 years later, we still haven't seen any sign of them on the horizon. So basically what I'm saying here is take all this with a grain of salt. Definitely be happy we got Darth Malak, but I wouldn't look at it as a sign that we are for sure getting more Old Republic sets. Looking at what we have gotten from the Old Republic and what it could offer, I pray LEGO revisits this subtheme. I think a set or two per year based on Old Republic stuff would be nice for the fans, but not too overbearing for those who don't care for it and only really want Skywalker Saga sets. However, with how much content Disney is constantly pumping out of Star Wars, I don't foresee LEGO touching the Old Republic anytime soon. LEGO is too focused on current relevant content, which I can't blame them for, but I would still like to see some Old Republic sets again at some point. Like I mentioned, maybe just 1 or 2 per year would be the best way to implement this, as I don't think they'd be huge sellers, but they definitely have their fans, me included. And if you're watching this video, I assume that's you too. Ultimately, it's probably a pipe dream, but I love the diversity these sets can bring with them. It'd be really nice to see a good shakeup in the lineup for now. As many great sets as we're getting, I feel we're kind of getting a little stale. LEGO Star Wars has been around 25 years now, so plenty of remakes and, rehashes of sets that we've seen before. Sets like the Coruscant gunship or maybe Old Republic sets will probably need to become more common as to shake up the lineup and give us something we haven't seen before. Since the content these sets are based off of isn't very concrete, LEGO can have a little more fun with them and the builds, and I think that adds something special to them. Maybe I'm alone in saying this, but I really miss these sets. This video was made with the idea to remind people of this amazing subtheme. These sets can kind of get forgotten about and swept under the rug, but they really shouldn't. It was only a couple of years, I know, but they were great sets, and they have a lot to offer. If we don't see them again, though, I will somewhat understand. They came at a time when LEGO was looking for new content. There wasn't anything new being produced under the Star Wars IP at the time, and that's what led to them. So maybe we'll have to wait for a break like that in the Star Wars content before we get some more Old Republic sets. This is something, though, that really harbors back to old LEGO Star Wars, and something that I very much miss. Their willingness to go out and make kind of some more random off-the-wall sets. And the Old Republic being the most squandered opportunity, I think, out of all of them. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me know down below if you agree with me. Do we need to see some more Old Republic sets? I definitely think so. If you want to help out the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.